Once when my little brother was 4 years old, he broke a new TV that my dad had bought because he and I used to watch a lot of Dora the Explorer, and every time that damn Dora said, "Do you know where Boots is?" my little brother would say, there, genuinely believing they could hear him. So fed up one day, Dora asks her questions and he answers her, but Dora didn't pay attention to him. And my little brother, already fed up and angry, threw a shoe at the TV and broke it.
One more and you're dead.
One time when I was 5 years old, I fell and rolled down the stairs because my mom had called me to come down for dinner. But back then, since I thought I was Lightning McQueen, I would run at full speed, and then I slipped and saw my life flash before my eyes. When my mom came to see what happened, instead of helping, she scolded me for running fast. She didn't realize her son nearly met St. Peter. One time my aunt gave me 2,000 pesos because it was Children's Day, so I decided to go to a toy store and spend all 2,000 bucks just on Nerf bullets. And when I got home, all happy, ready to try out the new Nerf bullets I bought, my mom says, "Hi son, hey, just so you know, I gave away all your Nerf guns to kids in need." And honestly, I didn't even know how to react. I just stood there in shock and said, "Mom, I just spent 2,000 pesos on nothing but bullets. What am I supposed to do with them?" And she says, "Well, we'll just give those away too." No way though. The good thing is, in the end, being clever, I bought myself a crappy little gun that only fits one bullet. One time when I was little, I got drunk at a wedding because my mom told me we should go since my uncle was getting married, and when it was time for the toast, all the adults were given drinks to say cheers. They didn't give me anything, which upset me, and it wasn't the first time this happened. Fed up, I went from table to table looking for the glasses from the toast that were still full and began drinking them. To the point that I got kind of drunk and my uncle and my family laughed their heads off at the silly thing I did. One time I poured water into some cereal and ruined it because my mom used to keep water in milk jugs since that's how she made ice, but she forgot to put them in the freezer. And one day I was really hungry and I served myself some cereal in a cup, so I go to the fridge, grab what was supposed to be milk and pour it on the cereal. But when I see what I'm pouring, I realize it's transparent, not white, and I yell to my mom, "Mom, I think the milk turned invisible." And it turned out to be water, and my cereal was ruined.
The thoughts inside my mind are an enigma.
One time I let out a huge fart in front of my girlfriend because I had eaten some really tasty lentils with eggs, but then I drank milk, and honestly I was really embarrassed. But well, as the years go by, you get more comfortable, and one day I said to my girlfriend, "How about we rate my farts from 1 to 10? And she agreed, and to this day, every fart I let out, she rates it based on toxicity and stench. And one day I looked up how farts help the body, and the internet said they prevent cancer, so I'm keeping my girlfriend really protected from diseases. One time my mom ruined my breakfast because I wanted to eat yogurt with fruit, and I saw there was a tub of yogurt in the fridge and I thought, hell yeah, I scored. So I served myself a bowl of fruit, which took me a while to peel, and without realizing it, I start pouring what I thought was yogurt. But as it was coming out, I saw that stuff was black, and that's when I realized it wasn't yogurt but beans my mom had stored in there. To top it off, it sat in the fridge for months since it was green and smelled awful. One time my mom gave me a worm to eat because when I was little I watched The Lion King a lot, and I noticed that those guys Timon and Pumbaa ate a lot of worms. But in the movie they looked delicious and juicy, so to my 6-year-old self it seemed like a feast fit for the gods. And one day my mom comes up to me and says, "Look sweetie, here's the worm for you to eat, but don't make a mess." It was a gray ugly worm, and obviously it didn't look like the one in the movie, and I felt cheated by Disney. Once when I was little, I thought islands were just little mounds of land with a palm tree, because that's how they showed them in movies and in SpongeBob. But one day I went on vacation with my parents and I asked my mom, "Where are we going?" And she told me we were going to an island called Isla Mujeres. And when I got to the boat that was going to take us, I saw there were like 873 people. And I asked my mom, "Hey mom, where are all these people going to fit on the island? It's going to sink and we'll be in trouble." My mom didn't get what I meant. But when I arrived, I saw it wasn't like SpongeBob and everything was actually big. I even used to think only 5 people lived in Australia. One time my dad gave me a laptop for my birthday, but one day my mom said to me, "Hey Manuelito, can I borrow your laptop?" And I was really scared to lend it to her because I thought to myself, I hope she doesn't type the letter P because if she presses it, everything's ruined. And then she calls me and says, hey, what's this? And I saw that she had typed the letter P and it said Tweety Scary Stories, and she told me, don't watch that, son, then you can't sleep, and whoo. Thankfully, I got away with it, or she would have smashed the laptop over my head.
Damn, that was close.
Once when I was in high school, someone trolled a teacher in front of the whole class because the teacher had the volume on his phone all the way up. And the whole classroom was quiet and he was checking WhatsApp. And then out of nowhere you start hearing send porn, and the whole class started cracking up laughing. And Professor Juan ran to the bathroom out of embarrassment, and all down the hallway outside the classroom you could still hear send porn, send porn. The poor professor couldn't turn it off because his old Nokia got stuck. Luckily the principal wasn't there or he would have been fired.
If you know how to waste your time, check out my profile. If you know how to waste your time, check out my profile.
One time, my physics teacher, who we called the Olmec head, let out a huge fart because the rice pudding didn't sit well with him. But the damn teacher, instead of taking responsibility for the toxic fart he let out, preferred to blame the fat guy in the class. And a classmate says, gross, it smells horrible like a dead rat. And the teacher goes, could it be that you're the one farting, Peter? I mean, my fat classmate. And Peter, totally fed up, says, with all due respect, you're lying. I could hear from here that you're rotting inside. And everyone in the class started cracking up, but poor Peter got taken to the principal's office and was suspended for 3 days. One time I bought like 300 AAA batteries because I played Xbox and needed them for my controller, but I messed up 3 times in a row when I bought them on Amazon. And one day I told my mom, look mom, the batteries are 100 for 70 pesos. And my mom told me to buy them because they were on sale. But when they arrived, I wanted to put them in the controller. And they didn't fit because the controller needed AA batteries, not AAA. And when I tried to buy them again to fix my mistake, I messed up again like the fool I am. In the end, my mom stopped wanting to buy me things. One time when I was in math class, the teacher made me write 100 lines because I was talking with a friend and I said Simamut, which honestly for me, Simamut wasn't even a bad word, and the teacher said, I heard you. Now you have to write 100 lines for tomorrow. And inside I thought, what nonsense, that's not even a bad word, but oh well. And then a silly classmate goes and says to the teacher, good one teacher Cepilin for making him write lines. And the teacher was a fan of Cepilin, so he gave the fool Huesos 500 lines so he wouldn't disrespect good old Cepilin. One time when I was in middle school, we left a rotten chicken at school and everything started to stink. Because in natural science class, we did an activity where we had to bring a chicken to examine it, and Roberto, who was responsible for bringing the chicken, did his part and brought it. But when it was time to take it back home, he forgot and left it under his seat all weekend, and on Monday everyone arrived and noticed that the school smelled rotten and foul. So they checked everywhere, even on the roof. But the chicken was in my classroom the whole time. The good thing is that classes were canceled that day.
¿Cómo llegó eso ahí?
Mama, I'm a criminal. Mama, I'm a criminal.